Hey everyone, it's Chris from Rat Race Rebellion. I have a really ugly, very deep scam to expose for you today. This is a scammer that I met last Friday, April 5th. And as of today, Monday, April 8th, this scammer has tried to get me to print and send over $330,000 worth of fake cashier's checks to 79 victims who are at home waiting to receive these checks so that they can start their mystery shopping at Nordstrom. Hang on to your hats, we're going down the rabbit hole. On Friday, I received an email that was forwarded to me by one of our followers who wanted to know if something she had received was a scam. And this is what the body of that email contained. New journey. I believe that you'll fit right in with me as I am accepting qualified individuals for a new position. This offer does not affect your current activities. Receive a weekly earning. Kindly tap purple button icon below for details. Thank you. Now remember, this went to somebody who wasn't me. So what I did was I just extracted the information from the email she forwarded to me, and I responded to this person as though he sent it to me because these guys never keep track. So there's a form attached to that purple button, which I'll show you. And after I filled out that form, I sent him an email telling him that I'm excited about the opportunity. I just filled out the form. I have a printer already, and you'll see why I mentioned that. And I can order the Versa checks and USPS mailers at once if I get the job. So you'll see what that refers to here. When you push that purple button, it takes you through to an application form where you're going to put in some basic information, your name, address, city, state, zip, email, how they can get in touch with you by phone, your age, and your present occupation. It doesn't matter. All they want is your email address. This is the description of the job, and I'm going to go through this just so that you can see, how they present it and how it actually unfolds. All right, I'm going to read this mangled English job description to you so that you can see how this thing starts off. I would like to bring your attention to this lucrative paying job. It's mailing letter and payroll checks through USPS/FedEx, and note that I will be responsible for the shipping postage charges. All you need to do is print out the electronic shipping labels that will be sent to you by email and then attached to the USPS priority envelope or FedEx envelope. Then you have it dropped to different drop boxes around you. You are to drop only 10 envelopes in one drop box. That's a little suspicious right up front, but that's just the beginning of where things get squirrely. More about the job. I will be paying you $1 per envelope dropped by working from home with some extra money for the reimbursement of the materials needed for the work. A little bit about the job. I used to get contract from large/small scale company, and they asked me to send payroll check to their clients/workers as a means of payment. So you will be responsible for that. You will be mailing the check out to those clients via FedEx or USPS. You will be doing this job in your home. I think this job is a great opportunity for you, and it doesn't require any specific time. You can work anytime you like in a day. You can also do this at night and drop the packages off for shipping the next morning if you are busy during the day. You will get paid $1 per envelope dropped. Minimum of 1,500 envelopes will be available for you every month, equals $1,500. Job requirements. Must have a computer or laptop. Must have a printer. Must have access to the internet. Plain white papers. Top Versa check printer form 1,000, one per page. That's what I was referring to in that email that I sent to him, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we move forward. And then your direct cell phone number for better communication. So kindly confirm which of the above requirements you have available. Now, this is really interesting. All you need is to locate a nearby post office drop box near you for dropping off envelopes. You will need to order priority mail USPS envelopes via the USPS website. Note, the envelopes are free at the post office. You will need to order a certain paper check, ink, and paper for printing shipping labels online. I will create USPS shipping labels of each name for you to be able to print out and attach on each envelope. All of the money you spent for the materials will be reimbursed back to you along with your first salary. So just to show commitment to the job. Okay. The fact that you are asked to purchase the papers doesn't mean one is trying to get money out of your purse. Remember, you will be the one using the papers for printing, and you are expected to purchase it so you can take it more seriously. So he's telling me that I need to make these purchases to do the job so that he knows I will take the job more seriously. I will be expecting your response to know when you will have the materials ready to enable us to get started without delays. Regards, Thomas Med. Now, that's the last we'll hear from Thomas Med. I have no idea who this is because we get a new clown who shows up in the next ring. Within a very short time of me sending in that form, I received a text message from an unknown number, and after questioning who it was and eventually getting a response, the sender identified himself as Mr. Jose John and proceeded to tell me that he was getting in touch with me about what he calls the dispatching position that I applied for. So he pretty quickly, I'm not going to read all of these messages to you, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put them on a page on the Rat Race Rebellion site. So if you want to see how the whole dialogue unfolded, I mean, that's me. I love to go in and just read the whole thing and see how everything came to fruition. So I am going to put that on the Rat Race Rebellion site, and you can go over there and actually read the whole conversation. But I'm going to cut to just the white meat here. During the course of this conversation, he spoke to me about the materials that I would need to order online in order to do this job. Among those materials were priority mail envelopes from the U.S. Postal Service, and we need hundreds of those. Mailing labels that I can print off on my printer, and check blanks. So forms that you can use to print checks out of your computer. And they're not just regular copy paper. They are checks that companies use to print out real checks. But this guy, of course, doesn't want to print real checks. One of the things that really caught my eye and told me that this is a scammer of a different caliber is he wants me to order MICR ink. Now, MICR stands for Magnetic Image Character Recognition. And that is actually the line that you have on the bottom of a check. So this part of a check right here, where you have your routing number, your account number, and the check number, that's what they call the MICR line in banking. And that line should be printed using a magnetic ink that is easier for banking systems to process. It also indicates that it's a real check. All right. So I have my red flags went up as soon as he told me this, and I did go online to see exactly what he was talking about. To start with, there are the checks at Amazon. So let's have a look at those. These are the specific check blanks that he wanted me to order. And these are really, this is a high quality check paper. They'll send 500 sheets for $120. And you can see it says here they have 22 security features. And Those include everything from watermarks to this hologram foil that you'll see on there. So that's a reflective hologram foil on there. And you can see in the lower right-hand corner of the check, I think that's right about here. That's actually a heat-sensitive icon that's on the check. And then the paper itself has white and blue threads running through it. They're microscopic, but they can only be seen under a black light. And that's just another way for people to check and see if a check is indeed legitimate. Now, you combine that check with this ink, the MICR ink, and you can put together a really convincing fake check. And that's exactly what this scammer wants me to do. Now, one of the scary things about this scam is people who are doing the job that he thinks I took from him, and that is a payroll processor. Essentially, he's going to send me the check blanks, and I'll show those to you in a minute. They're actually all in a PDF format that's designed to print especially the right size on those forms that he wanted me to purchase, which I, of course, did not purchase. So that meant I had to go over to Canva. I went to the Amazon site. I downloaded a picture of that item, then took that item over to Canva, which is a graphics tool, and put that in there so that I could use that as a base for creating checks that are believable. And that, my friends, is what this is all about. I have this pile over here. As you know, usually when I'm making these videos, I have a pretty tidy desk. Not today, because I printed so many different checks, and he wanted me to keep sending him pictures until he could be sure that those checks were coming out to his specs. He wants to make sure that they are believable. So, don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse, but ultimately, this is what he's hoping that that person is going to be producing at home. Now, in addition to that, he wants me to print out mailing labels so I can forward these checks individually to a bunch of different people. The first list that he sent me had 49 people all over the U.S. And I did such a good job of that, I convinced him. That I sent those out all to his specifications. And so he sent me a list of another 30 today. So that's 79 people total, and each of these checks is in the amount of $4,179.99. So in total, he wants me to send out over $330,000 in bogus cashier's checks. And that is where things get really interesting. A lot of these scammers will have you deal with fake checks. This one is dealing with fake cashier's checks. I'm going to fold this over because the name on this check is actually another victim. But you can see it says cashier's check. I'm looking in reverse in the camera. And the amount, which you can only see in writing there, but yeah, it's that $4,179.99. 79 of these. Now, I only printed out enough of them so I could send him samples, so he's convinced that I'm doing the job. In addition to sending out those checks, he wants me to include these instructions from what he's calling Global Market Insights. Let me show you what that letter looks like up close and personal. This document file, by the way, is called Nordstrom Instructions. So when somebody receives one of these phony checks for $4,100, they're going to receive these instructions because the people, the 79 people that I'm supposed to be sending these checks off to, believe that they are awaiting a check so that they can begin a mystery shopping job. All right, so they have an assignment. And when they get that check, you'll see the instructions here, and we'll just sort of go through them. Step 1, cash or deposit the cashier's check. in the assignment package at your bank. Funds will be available instantly or within 24 to 48 hours for you to carry out the survey at the stores. The check covers all expenditures, including your salary of $630. In addition, we offer $100 bonus to encourage fast survey turnaround and also determine your efficiency and commitment shown towards working with us. Bonus will be added to your salary for the next assignment. Therefore, you get $730 for your second assignment. All right. Now, note, it's important to withdraw cash from your bank for the purchase of the gift cards at the stores because some of the stores listed do not accept bank card as a mode of payment, especially on higher denominations. Step 2. After cashing the check at your bank, you are to complete the purchase of $3,500 in gift cards at 4 or more of the stores listed below or at any local store around you. Purchase any denomination between $100 to $500 available for the gift cards, preferably $500 denomination. Do not purchase more than $1,000 in gift cards at each of the stores you visit, and make sure you activate the gift cards at the checkout. We are examining the availability of these gift cards and customer service delivery in some of the retail stores in your city. A lot of customers have reported condition, arrangement, and insufficient gift cards in some outlets, especially for higher denominations. Our need to act is based on reports and complaints some customers forwarded anonymously to our head office. Also, we want to evaluate these stores to compare and contrast their services for further review and implementation. Now, purchase Nordstrom gift cards. Apparently, according to them, at Walgreens, Best Buy, Kroger, Rite Aid, 7-Eleven, Lowe's, CVS, Target, and you can see the other stores they have listed here. So after purchasing the gift cards, this is step 3, open and take each gift card out of the pack. Scratch the label off the back of each card carefully. Capture clear images of the front and back of each gift card, showing all of the angles and edges of the gift card, and send via email or text to the email and phone number above for verification. Also, keep the cards for record purposes and wait for further instructions regarding the cards. We want to verify and check for errors on the gift cards purchased at these stores. Bull crap. What they want is for you to take money that is, they want me, the person who thinks they're doing payroll, to take money that is not theirs to give. And I'll show you those checks here in just a moment, and send it to somebody who thinks that they're working a job. So they're scamming the bank that these are drawn on, because these are supposed to be cashier's checks. They're scamming the person who thinks that they're doing payroll. And now I've become part of the scam to actually send these off to, not me, because I'm not actually doing it, but the person in this role, to send these checks off to somebody who thinks that they're going to be working as a mystery shopper. So yeah, it's a mess, but they want you to take pictures so that they can sell those Nordstrom cards online to make money. All right. Now, they would go absolutely bananas if you said to them, okay, I purchased the cards, but now that I have them, I think I'm just going to use them. Now, you wouldn't want to do that because it's poison. Okay. I mean, these are cards that ultimately were purchased with money that doesn't belong to them. And ultimately, that check is going to bounce because it is not actually a real check. So what's happening here is it's a multi-layer scam. Me, or the person who thinks that they have the job that I'm pretending to do, I am the first victim. All right. I am the person who is doing this job. I am out money purchasing the checks, the check blanks, the MICR ink, the paper that's associated with printing out the instructions. I'm the one who's running to the post offices, and if there's any cameras showing who dropped these scam emails or scam checks into those boxes, it's going to point to me. All right. So then I'm sending these checks out to so far 79 victims who are waiting for them so that they can cash them and do these shops. But it's not real money. These checks are going to bounce because they're going to get into the system, and ultimately the bank that they're written on, and in this case that bank is Community Trust Bank out of Pikeville, Kentucky. When these try to go through the system, Community Trust Bank is going to say, yeah, we never issued these. And your bank, or the bank of the person who tried to cash this check or did cash this check, they're going to come back for the money from that person. So that person who thinks they're doing the mystery shopping job is on the hook for the $4,100. And to the person who thinks they're sending the checks that are real checks is possibly on the hook for a crime of using the U.S. Postal Service to commit fraud by sending off bad checks. And you could tell that these are just my blanks because there's nothing on the back. So what they want me to do with these checks is, and I alluded to this in that first bit, they want me to package these up. Okay, so in each package, again, there is a check. There are the instructions as to what the individual is supposed to do with that check with regard to the mystery shopping. There is a label that gets slapped onto the front of it, and all of that stuff is coming to me directly through the scammer. Let me show you what he's sending me for documents that need to be printed off. So Jose John has become John Taylor in the course of our conversation. And what he's done is he sent me 2 different batches of checks. This is the first one that has 49 labels. And then this is the second one that has 30 labels. This is what that document looks like. Now, as you can see here, this is the second one that he sent me, and there's 30, actually 31. I thought it was 30. So now in total, there's actually 80 of these victims. I am blocking out the person's name because this is an innocent individual who thinks that they have a real mystery shopping gig. But essentially, this is a PDF where what I would do is I would put the check paper into my printer, and these documents would print off on that check paper, ultimately rendering something that looks like something like this, but actually goes out to the edges. And then they have you, because their actual check blanks are perforated, they have you rip that check off so that you end up with this. Okay. And I'm going to block out that name. So yeah, so that's what you're sending along to these people. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that list of 31 here, and I had 49 on the other one. And then they're sending the printing labels in exactly the same way. So they want me to send out the labels, so they send them, and I'm supposed to print them off on adhesive backed paper and stick those to the envelopes. So yeah, it's a mess. This scammer stymies me a little bit. His text messages are actually very good English and very impromptu. So I know he's not copying and pasting what he's saying to me there, because we're having a flowing dialogue. I mean, really, one of the funniest things that happened during my conversation with him, Sunday morning, he was trying to get me to do something, and I said, I'm going to church, so I can't work on that right now. And his response was, okay, pray for me when you get to church. As if I'd be wasting my prayers on you when you're getting ready to try to bilk people out of $330,000. I don't think so. But that's indicative of somebody who's actually responding in real time. And there was a lot of that give and take going on in this conversation. The other thing is, there was a lot of back and forth when he had me printing and reprinting because the pictures that I was sending to him, he felt like something was a little off with the checks. Something was a little off with the checks. They weren't actually printed on the check paper, and they were actually smaller than they should have been. So I was trying to make them appear to be the right size by taking the pictures in a certain way. So there was a lot of back and forth. But my point is, the job posting, the job description that I showed you at the first part of this video was clearly written by somebody who struggles with English. Whereas this conversation with this individual, the person is actually quite well spoken in English. I mean, there are a few errors in there, but we all make errors when we're texting. I am certainly not a meticulous texter. So I suspect that this individual might have boots on the ground here in the U.S., and I'm not quite sure how to pinpoint this person, but I am in touch with the authorities. I started off by getting in touch with the bank that these checks are supposedly written from, and I mentioned that earlier in the video, the bank in Kentucky. And they're setting their folks out on it. I'm not sure that they understand the gravity of the situation just yet, because these are not pretending to be personal checks. They're pretending to be cashier's checks, which is a whole different breed. I got in touch with the U.S. Postal Service to let them know that there is felony mail fraud going on. We're talking about a huge amount of money being sent by scammers through the mail, and using mules like myself, okay, would be a money mule, and so would be those mystery shoppers, because ultimately we're all funneling money through this system for the scammers, unbeknownst to the people who legitimately think that they're working a job. Long story short, be damn careful out there. These scammers, some of them are so good at what they do, and what they do is so bad. Of course, if you like this video, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up, because that does help us in the algorithms, and it also informs YouTube that you want to see more content like this, so we'll show up in your suggestions. While you're at it, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you'll receive notification every time we upload new content. As always, if you have any questions or comments, drop them into the comment section below. We do read those, and we do try to respond in a timely manner to everybody. And I'm going to remind you that if you're looking for a real remote job, be sure to stop by the ratracerebellion.com website every day, Monday through Friday, where we post screened legitimate remote jobs. While you're there, click on the subscribe button to get our newsletter in your inbox every day, Monday through Friday. So that wraps it up for today. We can come out of that rabbit hole. Everybody have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.